Hi guys, welcome back to Gunshots. This week we're doing something a little bit different. I have a special guest presenter who's going to be talking about shooting impressions on this week's gun because I can't. The gun is not for me. The gun this week is the Ceasar Guerini Tempio Syren, and it is Ceasar Guerini's ladies only gun. I guess it would also fit a very small person, but it has some design features that really sort of point it in the direction of a lady. So we'll cover the technical bit and then we'll chat about shooting impressions. So the gun itself, the Tempio Syren, this gun, 28-inch tubes, ventilated mid-rib, ventilated top rib with a tramline, mid-bead and front bead. It's silver and white, and it is nicely tapered. All Guerinis come with a cracking set of chokes. This one came with 8 extended chokes in all constrictions. We've got a rather nice beaver tail forend with some nice detailing in the metalwork. The action, which I think is a little fussy but my wife loves it, is very, very finely engraved, lots of detail with a gold rose motif. This is then repeated on the pistol grip where you get this, I think, laser cut engraving just above the checkering. And then on to the stock. The stock's where the main differences really in this gun and a regular Tempio come in, because you get a Monte Carlo, and it's a subtle Monte Carlo, not a particularly high one, and a very small radius pistol grip with a small palm swell. The reach to the trigger is therefore quite short, and the length of pull on this gun is 14 inches. It is also fitted with a rather comfortable, well-rounded, well-shaped recoil pad. So, having dispensed with the technical details, I think we'd best introduce you to the special guest presenter who's going to tell you about the shooting impressions, and it is my wife, Dee.
Hi.
Hi. So, you started shooting, what, 6 months ago?
May 2017, so yeah, just over 6 months ago.
Alright, with a 28 gauge silver pigeon?
Silver pigeon, yeah. It was great for a first gun. Quite enjoyed shooting it, and it introduced me to the sport relatively easily. But it got to the stage where I was getting really frustrated that I wasn't dusting clays the same as everybody around me, and I was just chipping a corner. Those little 28 gauge cartridges just didn't cut it. Right,
so I mean, we started out with 14 gram carts because she wanted to sort of have a gentle introduction to the sport, and it worked. So we looked around. She tried a few of the guns that I brought home for testing, really liked the Parazzi, but I think we ended up settling on this because at the time, there weren't that many choices in terms of a ladies' gun, and of course now all the manufacturers are at it. Beretta do one, Browning do one,
Blaser do one.
Blaser do one. A number of options are out there. They all have very similar dimensions. But at the time, I was able to lay hands on one of these and got you behind it, and you loved it.
Yeah, I did.
You went for the 28-inch tubes on this instead of the 30, didn't you?
I did. I tried both back to back, but I felt the 30-inch was a little bit front heavy for swinging. The 28-inch was just much more comfortable, and it balanced much better for me.
Okay. And how do you find the ergonomics?
In terms of ergonomics, yeah, I am 5 foot nothing. I've got short arms, little hands, so for me this gun was just so much easier to handle and to shoot comfortably than any of the other bigger ones I've tried. So it is empty.
As you can see, the fit there is absolutely bang on. My wife being teeny weeny,
I found with some of the guns that you took home that I was really having to stretch my finger to get it around the trigger comfortably, which wasn't ideal, and my hands started getting quite sore after shooting. Right. So this one is much better, much more comfortable in the hand, swings easy, you know, very ergonomic. I quite like the detail. I know you think it's a bit fussy, but it appeals to my girly side. There's some beautiful roses here on this part, and I do really like the engraved roses there. And it's just a very pretty gun, I think. Cool.
How do you find the trigger pulls? I mean, I guess if you don't notice them, then
I find it fine, but
nice and crisp. Yeah,
but I am relatively new to shooting, so somebody with a few more years behind them might think different, but for me it's fine.
The triggers are pretty good on this thing. It is an inertia system, but you've never had any issues with light loads resetting them or anything?
No.
It's been fine.
I've shot both 28 gram and 21 gram cartridges through it, and they're both quite nice to shoot through. So there's very little recoil on this gun, which is good. Not to mention, of course, the 30 gram sixes you put through it on the game day? Yeah. I took it on a game day just before Christmas, my very first game day. I I had a really good day. It was very enjoyable, but I think the really good thing about this gun is it's not overly heavy. So when you're small like me and you're trudging through the fields with cartridges and big heavy clothing, you know, it's quite light to carry on your back. So
this particular one clocks in at just under £8. So it's, do you know, it's not that light. I mean,
no. It's certainly heavier than the Silver Pigeon was.
Absolutely, but I think that solidity, that little bit of weight, does mean that, of course, it soaks up recoil and handles really well.
Very little recoil with this gun. I really enjoy shooting it. When I first started shooting, it was more just to spend time with you and get out and about and get some fresh air. But now, since I've got this gun, my scores have doubled. So I'm really enjoying it, and now I'm shooting for me.
In terms of maintenance, how are you finding looking after it? Do you enjoy cleaning it at all?
No.
Yeah, so I do all the cleaning.
My man does all the cleaning.
One thing I would say about Ceasars, and I found it with all the ones that I've tested, the forcing cones on these guns do seem to accrue a fair bit of residue. For whatever reason. It's just something to be aware of. So yeah, she has an absolutely fab time cleaning it by handing it to me. All right.
Well, you look like you really enjoy it.
Oh,
though.
bless.
You make it look so easy.
Thanks for coming on the show, Dawn.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thanks everybody for watching. Please tune in next time. Subscribe, watch the rest of my videos, and take a look at the Bywell website. As discussed in the past, those guys supply all my guns for the reviews. Without them, there is no channel. See you next time.
Bye.